Hi everyone, I'm Kacey from Kula Yoga and I'm also the leader for our overseas retreat for 2019. In October, we're heading to India. And to make sure that our trip runs smoothly and safely, we've partnered with the experts in India travel, Divinity Travel, and we're lucky enough to have Emma and Kacey from Divinity Travel in the studio with us today. And they're going to share with us what to expect, what can we experience, and to explain a little bit more about the places that we will be travelling to and why we're calling this the magic of India. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now ladies, can you let our community know, a lot of them probably haven't been to India before, can you let them know a little bit about what makes India so special?
I think it's always a place that's been perceived as mystical, and would certainly hold that element of mystic. And when we think of India as a country, there's 1.3 billion people, but when you go there, there's in the air, it permeates all the spirituality and the different cross-culture of religions that are really harmonious for such a large country. And when you think about India, it's a whole nation that's dedicated to self-realization. So to have that as your backdrop where, it's the birthplace of yoga. So for us, there's a very big connection, and particularly for women, to travel. So for me personally, I travelled in India for 16 years as a woman alone. And when you're doing that and you come from a travel background, I suppose you've always got it in mind. How do we make this a place where women in particular, or very heart-centred men, can go and actually explore themselves and India at the same time in a very safe way? Yep. So our focus is primarily around having that experience for women where they can go and see all the sadhus, and it's everywhere. So the spirituality and the yoga is everywhere. It's in plain sight, as we would say. So besides the spiritual side of India, they're quite mischievous actually in their character, in their nature. So Indian people very rarely like to be controlled. So for us, it's been quite a journey ourselves, even in the travel side, helping yoga leaders and women and people go to India because they don't like structure. But we've managed it very well. And the reason they don't like structure is because it's so lively. It's a country, would you agree? It's just absolutely full of life. I've been over 35 times to India, and I can honestly say that every single time I go, you experience something new. Like there's nothing that's standard in India. Yeah. So you know it. One of the beauties is that everything is in English, because the English had a very strong influence there. So unconsciously, you actually feel quite connected, because you can understand everything, you can see everything. And when we do the tours, we actually look at aspects of India that we can have where you have that freedom, which is a very big thing in India that they themselves like. But then there's also that structure, so that we're creating a safe construct for groups and yoga owners and people in general, just to travel India in a safe way.
So safe to say it will be
safe.
But also like a life-changing journey. Like we keep saying to people, like I know personally that India has been calling me for years, and I couldn't be more excited about finally, I guess, ticking off a massive thing on my bucket list. And I'm sure it's on plenty of others, especially those that are practicing yoga, whether it's within our community or outside of that. So tell me a little bit more about, well, first of all, our journey starts in Rishikesh, which is known as the birthplace of yoga, and it is at the base of the Himalayas. Correct. It's on the banks of the Ganges River, and it's known as a holy city. And so maybe just let us know a bit more about Rishikesh. We'll be there for 6 nights. What can we expect?
It's true, and it is at the base of the Himalayas and a very holy city. So therefore there's, and we should be upfront about that, there's no alcohol in that part of the journey, and it is vegetarian or vegan. So it's something that they hold dearly. So Rishikesh is the birthplace of yoga, and as you said, it's on the banks of the Ganges, where it comes straight out from the Himalayas, so it's very crisp and cool. And it's probably the largest place in all of India for ashrams. So what you've got is this particular pocket where you're guests are staying. And in that area, it's dotted everywhere with ashrams. Most people would know the Beatles ashram is also there. So it's a place where, you know, there's constant energy vibration. So it's a perfect place for those people that are practicing yoga, that, you know, also embedding a bit more than the physical practice of yoga. They have sacred artis and ceremonies on the banks of the Ganges because it's such an important life source and energy vortex, for want of a better word. And you know, and it's also a great place that you can actually, once known, which is part of the this particular tour, where they do a walking tour to orientate themselves. So then people can actually explore on their own a bit. So again, it's having that structure, but then also having that freedom for people to go. So it's there's teacher trainings are all held. You know, people from around the globe internationally come into this particular section.
Like yoga mecca.
Yeah.
So essentially it is very much going to be a pilgrimage for many of us. And to be surrounded by so many like-minded people, and like you said, the beauty of going on a retreat is that there will be some structure, but there will also be freedom to explore and to make the most of what you want to experience and explore. So that sounds incredible. And after we experience Rishikesh, then we start to head back to Delhi and we go on the journey through the Golden Triangle. So can you tell me a little bit about the Golden Triangle and why it is such an infamous journey that so many people do travel along when they do go to northern India?
Yeah, thanks, Kacey. I think, you know, if there's one part of India that, you know, if you're only ever travelling once to India, I mean, the Golden Triangle is the key highlight of India. It's in an area called Rajasthan, and the triangle is Delhi, the capital of India. And whilst it is a capital city and it's huge, probably the greater Delhi area is as large as our country, you know, there's a lot of historic things there, but what we do is, because we're in that field of yoga and spirituality, is, you know, we have fun. We have a bit of fun, so we're on rickshaw rides through the old centre of Delhi. There's old and new. And so we're seeing things like that, but then we're also heading into a Gurdwara, a Sikh temple, which is beautiful, isn't it? It's, so we're going in amongst the people. There'll be a little bit of light shopping as well for all those people that want to explore that side. But yeah, and into that spiritual side as well to actually, you know, embed in Delhi. And then the second part is Agra. And Agra, it's pretty hard to describe the Taj Mahal, but there's two main things in Agra, but the main place in probably all of India is actually the Taj Mahal. So,
and if we're going to India, then how can we not go and see the Taj Mahal while we're there? So
it does not disappoint.
No, it's an iconic
sure.
landmark. It's one of the wonders of the world, correct?
Yeah, and we don't squash in to do the two things in one day in Agra. So for us, it's not just about ticking that box, although it is a nice box to tick. It's really about, you know, having the time to really absorb. I mean, it's hard to put into words, but it's really one of the most incredible experiences to see one of the seven wonders of the world, and just spend that little bit of extra time there and time to see it, but then also to embed its grace. So Agra is the Taj Mahal.
Incredible.
And then to have it in that time frame, the next point is Jaipur. So Jaipur is considered the pink city in India. There's the pink city, blue city, and white city. And in Jaipur, they just have magnificent forts, and there's palaces, and so the key highlight of that is actually going into the fort. They're up on a mountain. And Jaipur is also known for its gems in India, so that was the place of gems and block print design. So they're very big on their block print design in Jaipur. So that classic triangle is the main thing that's accompanying this tour. So it's going to Rishikesh. There is some touring in Rishikesh, so you know, there's an experience for the Devi temple for the feminine, going up to, you know, see the snow-capped mountains of the Himalayas. There's a walking tour, so there's aspects in Rishikesh, and then that's all, particularly the yoga, the deep-seated yoga that you are doing. And then the next bit is more the fun as well, you know, moving around, you know, exploring India, you know, exploring the majestic side of India.
Sounds incredible. And anyone that's been on retreat with me before knows that as much as I love obviously the yoga side of things, it's also about really getting exposure to the culture and the people and to experience the country itself and the amazing people that make up that country. So we'll not only be having amazing connections with people that we meet along the way, but we'll also get to absorb the vibration and the energy of this very exotic country that has so much to offer. And I've heard that it's a bit of a sensory overload.
It is. Very much so.
Yeah, and so I'm ready to absorb and to get there. I'm so excited. And so what's something else that you could say to our community for those that might be, you know, considering it for next year? Obviously, it is a big trip. It is 12 days, 11 nights. So it is a little longer than our usual retreats. We do encourage you to come for the full 12 days. But if there is any reason that you want to explore coming to just Rishikesh or the Golden Triangle, have a chat to us. Depending on numbers, that might be possible as well. But for myself, I know that going to the birthplace of yoga, to Rishikesh, and to experience that for that 6 nights will be such an incredible time. And then to then go on a journey together through the Golden Triangle will be incredible as well. But for those that might be sort of sitting on the fence or considering it, or maybe a little bit hesitant, I know some people are hesitant travelling to India, which is why we're partnering with you to give them that security and peace of mind as we do go into this amazing place. But what's something you would say to them to just maybe give them the encouragement they need?
I would say you'll be very pleasantly surprised by. We have a lot of people asking many things, many questions before they go. You'll be very pleasantly surprised because it was colonised by the English, and there is that connection. The air is crackling with spirituality. It wakes you up, I think, from your everyday Western experience and just takes you out of your comfort zone into just society where devotion, religion, yoga is, as Kacey said, in plain sight. So it's quite a spiritual or an internal experience as well for the traveller.
And when you first came as a client, you know, you had perhaps concerns about the food. You know, people often talk about the food.
Yes, everybody asks about the food and hygiene.
Okay, so from the perspective of food and hygiene and water, what can you share, like, for anyone that might be concerned about that?
Yeah, and you know, it's something that, you know, having travelled through India for so long as well, that you do need to be really conscious about. So the beauty with us is obviously we've already thought about it, and you know, our job is to take those concerns away. So the great surprise in Rishikesh is you'll actually have organic cafes that particularly cater for Western people, and it's certainly an experience I would encourage your people who are going to go to, because it's also connected to sponsoring an orphanage. But they have fabulous organic food, and it's just a great experience to go to. Where you're staying has a beautiful cafe that everyone flocks in from around Rishikesh, and that too has organic
We
food.
don't even have to go anywhere.
And another restaurant. So you know, one of the things we're really conscious about is eating. So you know, there'll be, you know, we'll do the normal things that you'll let your people know not to eat street food and do those sorts of things. But honestly, India's just fully catered for Western people. So we're very
And a culinary
it's
fantastic. Smorgasbord of vegetarian and colour.
Yeah. So it's just being mindful of where you eat, and when we're talking on tour, we only take people to places or have food and it's extensive food that you know, that's very safe to eat. So we've actually obviously thought about those things. Water, you know, whilst we're not into the plastic side, but we do encourage people, and it's definitely, you know, brushing your teeth as well as drinking through bottled water, so, or filtered water from the hotels. So yeah, so that side of it, touch wood, has not been an issue.
And this is the beauty of having the experts working with us on this, that they've already thought of everything and they're here to support us to make sure our retreat does run smoothly, safely, but also that we have the best time that we possibly can have. So I do encourage you all to come with us. Obviously, we're visiting these amazing places in India, and throughout that time with our yoga practice, we'll be exploring vinyasa, as well as yin yoga, yoga nidra, meditation, and we'll be weaving in the philosophy, the mantras, the mystique of this beautiful place as well. So this is our chance to explore, to deepen your practice and really experience where yoga has come from. So I do hope you'll join me, and I do appreciate you both coming in today to have a chat, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Namaste.